Hi, this is Joyce Pellino Crane. I'm the News Director at WestfordCAT. I'm here today with Town Clerk Patty Dubey, and we're going to talk a little bit about absentee ballots and voting prior to Election Day. Hi, Patty.
Hi, Joyce.
How are you?
I am good.
So,
beautiful day today.
It is beautiful. I'm sitting right next to a deck, and the sun is out, and the flowers are in bloom, and it is really gorgeous.
It is.
So we want to talk a little bit today about the election, the townwide election, and you have a lot on your shoulders. Can you tell us, can you tell the residents of the town what you want them to know regarding absentee balloting and so forth?
Sure. Well, as everyone knows, we were going to have a town election on May 5th, and that didn't work out. So the selectmen have changed it to June 30th. It is the last day of our fiscal year.
We should probably tell the residents the reason why it didn't work out is because of COVID-19.
That's true. Because of the COVID-19 situation and the concern with spreading the virus, we are now doing meetings remotely. We are concerned with annual town meeting and the town election. So part of the functions of the town clerk's office are to, well, we take the minutes at the annual town meeting and help a little bit with the setup of that. But the town election is squarely in our department, and we need to make sure we have a safe and secure town election. As you may recall, we do have a lot of candidates running this year. We are very happy about that. We have 6 candidates running for 2 positions in the school committee. We have 3 candidates running for selectmen for 2 seats. We have the Board of Health is an unopposed election, as well as the library trustees. And the other would be the planning board, where we do have 2 folks running for 1 seat. So we do have contests, and the candidates are beginning their campaigns. They want people to know what's going on, and they have been pushed off as well to the June 30th. So you will probably be seeing a lot of campaign information and signs starting to crop up. A lot of this has to do with the fact that we are encouraging mail-in voting. Then you can stay safe and vote from your home. We have a ballot box here at the town hall where you can deposit your ballot if you so choose, or you can just simply put it in the mail and we will get it as well.
Where in town hall is that box?
This box is located right outside the back door between the police department and the town hall door. We were able to repurpose a library book deposit box for this purpose, which has it's securely locked. Nobody can get in there. We check it every day. The one thing I can tell you about mail-in voting that you do need to know is you need to fill out an application requesting a mail-in ballot. So those are available in a couple of places. You can go online to the Westford webpage. I'm pretty sure that it's on the front page, but if it moves down, because sometimes things move down as every day something new is out there, you can always find it on the town clerk's portion of the webpage. We have a Facebook page that we started to give every couple days. We throw a blurb out there about what's happening in the town clerk's office with elections. And
I didn't know that.
You may need. What's that?
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Oh, good. Alyssa, one of our staff members, sort of keeps up with that all the time, and she's been very good at that. She's young. She's good with technology. We have, you can also email us, okay? Always feel free to email us at townclerk@westfordma.gov, or you can even pick up the phone and call us. Even though the town hall building is closed to the public, there are people still working in here. I can tell you I'm here most days, so you can call, and we'd be happy to send one in the mail to you if that makes it easier for you. We'll do whatever you need to do. We do encourage people to vote one way or the other. All that being said, the precincts will be open because by law we are required to have them open, and we will.
All 6?
All 6 will be open.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was considering trying to move the precincts in together, but with social distancing in mind, I felt that perhaps the different locations might work out better as far as safety.
Yes.
I will monitor other towns. We have some surrounding towns doing an election the beginning of June, and they, like Chelmsford, for instance, has decided to take all their precincts and put them in one spot. I know why they're doing this. We're all having trouble getting workers because of, well, safety reasons, and that's to be completely understood. Many of our workers are retired folks, so they're in the older category and they're the most vulnerable, so they would have concerns with this. We will, of course, be offering personal protection for our workers as well as folks coming into the polls.
What do you mean by personal protection?
Personal protection would be they would wear disposable gloves. Mm-hmm. They would have face masks. We are looking into, hopefully we can get them plexiglass shields. That's what's going to happen in the town hall. That's rather a little bit of an aside, but when we open the town hall again to the public, we're going to have plexiglass in place, which is what we're waiting for it, because of course everybody wants plexiglass, so they're on order. There's portable ones, and if you come by the town hall, you will see that we've had one installed yesterday out on the picnic table. We've been doing outdoor curbside as much as we can with different transactions, so it's something you might want to avail yourself of if you find you need something from us here. Where was I? Talking about ballots, right?
You were talking about poll workers and the numbers you need for the.
This is true. Typically, I am supposed to have a minimum of 6 workers at a precinct. We have 2 shifts of workers, so this would be quite a few people that help us out on election day typically. I looked into having our polling hours reduced because of the encouragement of voting by mail, but our bylaws don't let us do this. The only way we could shorten our hours to say 8 hours instead of 13 hours and make it 1 shift of workers is if the state allowed it. And I know that I've talked to Representative Arciero about this and our concerns. I don't know if that will happen. Other towns have the same concerns. Some towns don't have it in their bylaws that there are the specific hours. We do. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, it's going to be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I don't actually foresee that changing. So you would be able to come and vote at the polls if that's the way you would like to do it. And I know that candidates will be out there holding their signs, so feel free to still take part. Town elections are the most fun because you do know the people and most interesting. As far as I'm concerned, maybe the other people think differently, but
no, I'm with you all the way on that. I just, as an aside, I drove by the Common the other day or last weekend, and I saw 2 people putting a Valerie Young sign up.
Yes.
And then I saw further down the road, I saw Terry Ryan putting a sign up for school committee. And I thought, this is just a fabulous town.
It is. It's a busy time of year and people are passionate about it. They're giving up their time. These aren't paid positions, so they're actually are giving up a lot of their own personal time because they feel they can make a difference in town. I should mention there is one other place actually that you can obtain the application for absentee ballots. 5 of the candidates have gotten together and they are sponsoring an ad in the Action Unlimited that will be coming out in the next week or so. And it will tell about the fact that we are having an election, and they are putting early voting applications right in that newspaper. So that's another resource for you, for folks who may want to apply. You can also, now that I'm thinking about it, you can scan it and email it to me also. So you don't have to mail back that application. You can scan and email it back. Just make sure you sign it. It has to be signed.
So let's just review that. You can pick up an absentee ballot outside of town hall?
You can pick up The applications, no. The only way you can get a mail-in ballot is that I would have to mail it to you. I
Okay.
can't give you an unvoted ballot. It has to be mailed to the person who's requested it. That's a state law.
Okay. So you can have it mailed. You can have it emailed,
I can email you the
the application.
application. So the application is just the request, and that we must do. I have to tell you, Massachusetts has somewhat of an antiquated process of early voting. They follow a process and you must follow it. You have to apply for it. I have to send it to you. You have to get the ballot. You have to fill it out. You have to get it back to us. So there's steps, and we can't skip any of them. So.
And what's the deadline for sending in the ballot?
The ballots need to be received by 8 p.m. on election day, but to apply for the ballot, the last time you can apply for it, or the deadline would be 12 noon on June 29th. But keep in mind, if I'm mailing you a ballot, you're not going to get it if you do it on June 29th, especially lately. Mail hasn't been all that fast. So
Right.
keep it in mind.
Okay, so plan ahead. That's part of it.
Okay, and I wanted to mention that the League of Women Voters will be having candidates night, and they're going to have it early this year. They typically have it closer to the election, but where we're encouraging the mail-in ballots, they are going to be having it the first week of June. I think that you may know about that, Joyce, because they're recording it at WCAT, and then they're going to show it. I believe I heard somewhere like June 5th or 6th, something like that. So if you want to hear about the candidates, you should tune in and watch them.
Yeah, I don't know the date. I don't know the precise dates, but we will post on our newsletter website and make sure that the word gets out.
Okay. Let's see. What else have we got that I should be telling? The voter registration deadline. If you're not registered to vote in Westford, the last day that you could register to vote and be eligible to vote in the town election would be June 10th. But I can also mail you a voter registration if you want us to. Just call us. We'll send one to you. You can also go online to the Commonwealth of Mass Secretary of State's office and just vote that, register to vote that way as well. A couple of different ways to do it. And most folks are, especially those who are typically voting in the town election, they are registered to vote, so this isn't an issue. But you could be new to town, or you could be a student and you're registered to vote where you went to college and you're back in town and you want to vote for somebody. So keep that in mind, that you have till June 10th to do that.
Great. So is there anything else you want to cover? I'm looking at my cheat sheet. You were talking a little bit about early, that there's such a thing as an early ballot, and then there's also the absentee ballot. And in this case, they're one and the same.
Okay, that's true. I don't want, there might be confusion between an absentee ballot and an early ballot. They are two different things, but for the purposes of this election, the state has allowed us with emergency legislation to pretty much make them one and the same. Typically, an absentee ballot, you would request if you were out of town on election day, you were ill, maybe housebound, and you wanted to vote that way. Sometimes folks need help filling out the ballot and they vote absentee with a person helping them, a family member. Or you have a religious reason why you can't go to the polls. An early ballot is typically done here at the town hall. That's how we've done it. We've had it 2 times where we've had elections where early voting has been done, but for those folks who have done it, they realize it's very much the same as an absentee ballot, only you came in person. It's still put in an envelope. You still fill out the envelope. It goes to the polls on election day where it is opened. For purposes of this election only, either form you fill out is basically an early ballot vote. You don't need a reason to vote absentee except that you just want to vote early. And perhaps your reason is you don't want to come to the polls because you don't want to be around a lot of people. You want to practice social distancing. And that is perfectly legitimate and well thought of, really. And that is why we are encouraging the vote by mail. If you do come to the polls, there will be plenty of protection. And we have many people who would like to come to the polls. So I do have both sides. I have heard from both folks saying, well, are you just doing it all by mail? No, we're going to do both, but we are encouraging the vote by mail.
It just occurs to me that Westford, there's this whole issue of security around voting. Does that keep you up at night at all? Do you ever worry about, something happening, someone, a hacker infiltrating the system somehow?
Actually, no. Our system is a database that is maintained by the Secretary of State's office. It is a system that goes to all the 351 cities and towns, and pretty much they control it, and it has security like you can't believe, and I don't see how it could actually possibly happen. But I'm not technology minded, but they assure us that it is. Many things we have to do, we input people who register to vote or the census returns, and it's very carefully structured, the information we can provide or delete. So as far as anybody hacking in, it'd be pretty tough.
Good to hear. How many ballots do you have on hand? Have people already voted?
I only have a few ballots, but I do have some where people have voted. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to mention I already have received over 400 applications for early voting.
Oh my.
So, and we've only just begun trying to get the word out in the last 2 weeks. So it is effective, and people are doing that. And that seems to be the way it's going to go. So that's a good thing. That's just fine.
That is great. I've noticed the sandwich signs around town with the date of the election. So people are, it's helping to make people aware that there is this townwide election going on.
Yep, we're doing everything a little bit earlier than usual, and the candidates are getting their signs out there earlier because people are actually voting already. So they need to get their message across.
What was that?
They need to get their message across, so they got to start early.
Yes. Well, let me just put in a plug for my voter's guide, which I'm working on, and hopefully we'll get more submissions from the candidates, waiting for a few of them. And that will give residents a little bit more information about each of the candidates.
Yep, that we get asked about that a lot, Joyce. I have people call and say, well, I don't know anything about where the candidates stand, and I want more information on them. And I've always suggested to them that there is the candidates night. I will tell them about your voter guide, or the Westford Eagle always used to have, I think they still will, how the candidates felt about issues, their platform, right. And they should pay attention to that.
The League is also producing a voter's guide. We just didn't get our acts together. Typically I would do it, with them, make it easier on them. But I think that this year they did their own, and I'm doing my own, and that gives you twice the information. So it's good for everyone.
Right. This is true.
So is there anything else you want to tell residents about the election, or anything else that's under your domain?
Well, we have a lot of things that go on in the town clerk's office, and we have been maintaining services the best we can during this closure of the town hall. We will continue doing that. We are more about we are more than just the election. We do vital records. We have business certificates. We have all kinds of things we do, and people should always feel free to call the town clerk's office for information. If we don't know the answer, we can probably find you the person that could help you with the answer. We like to think we can anyway. And, it's a weird time we're living in and very stressful for lots of folks, and they should feel free that they have a place where they can call and we can help them out to the best that we can. I think we are tentatively planning on trying to open a little bit to the public towards the end of June. That's something the town manager can tell you more about, but it's now under discussion how we'll get back to business. But we do have, as I say, the picnic table has been our place where we go, and we help folks out with that. And they put up a big umbrella, like an easy up yesterday. So if it rains or if it's too hot, we have shade now. So we'll see how long that goes before we can actually open the doors for people to come back inside. It's been very, very quiet in here and very different, but everybody's experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be back to somewhat normal.
Yes, we would love that and hope that it will happen sooner than later.
Right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get the word out about the mail-in voting. We do have a sign out in front of the town hall, but how many people drive by through the center, you don't know. So we want to try and reach as many people as we can and encourage that. Not only to vote by mail, but just to vote, period.
In general, yeah. You have about 14,000 voters, right?
I actually have close to 17,000 voters now.
Oh, it's grown.
I do.
Wow. So more people are interested, that's for sure.
That's right.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover? I realize what a big job you have. I guess I should tell residents that you were the assistant town clerk for many, many years, right?
I was. I never was thinking I would be the town clerk because our former town clerk, Tari, was excellent, and I worked well with her, and I was sad that she decided to take an opportunity in Concord. So
yeah.
Now we work together, as far as we contact each other about how Concord's planning on doing something. All the town clerks actually have a big, what am I looking for? We have a group email that everybody throws ideas on and off and what works and what doesn't work. So it's a really helpful group, and what you may not have thought of, somebody else did, and this works and that. So it's good. And it's nice to have Kari close by when I need to bounce ideas off her. So,
wow,
as well as Trisha in Chelmsford too. I'm all surrounding, and Mike Bouchard and Groton, we all talk.
That's great. You have your resources, and that's wonderful to have that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I think we've covered everything. If there's anything else that you want to tell us, now's your time. And
no, I can't think of anything. I think I've got it all covered, but if I've forgotten something and folks have questions, like I say, please feel free to give us a call, and we'd be happy to walk you through it, answer questions. We're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patty. Before I sign off, I just do want to say I'm remembering way back when I first got to town, I was covering the town probably by phone a lot at that time. You were one of the first people I called and spoke with. And
oh, really?
Yeah. And I always remember that because you gave me a few very, very well-composed stories about the town. And that was sort of how I got introduced to Westford. It was mostly through you in the beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, I really love Westford. I'm a transplant too, although I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere, and I really love the town. My husband's an old townie. He's been here for several generations of his family, and I live in the village, so I'm down there with the folks. So
yeah, I lived in that village for 3 years.
Yes, it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is. Well, I loved having Forge Pond right there to walk.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yep. I really enjoy it.
Well,
I like my job too. I didn't think I'd want to take on the responsibility of the town clerk, but I am very happy doing it.
Yes, and
So,
you're doing a great job.
well, thank you. I try.
So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much. People can email you if they have questions or call you. If we didn't answer a question here, please feel free to call Patty Dubey. So my sign off will be today. I'm Joyce Pellino Crane, and you're watching WestfordCAT News.